name's Alyssa Garcia, and this is my video for the oral presentation for Drama 15. I was having a hard time figuring out which book that, well, not book, which play I wanted to do, and eventually it just dawned on me the most interesting one that I have read so far, since I haven't gotten a chance to go see a play yet, was when we were reading The Basement at the Bottom at the End of the World. I think it's also just because its themes were a bit different. A lot of the similarities amongst themes for the plays that we've been reading / watching have a lot to do with bonds within families. Like, where it goes into where the dad's really like, no, we need to hold on to culture or hold on to whatever values he feels is important to his family, while the kid or like sister or whatever, depends on which play you're reading, but the younger one who's old enough to branch out but still young enough to be considered younger. Like for Raising in the Sun, it's the sister, but for the migrant farm worker's son, it'd be the son. Where they branched out and were going away from where the father figure wanted them and his family to be, while the mom's trying to like hold this sort of balance thing. But when it comes to The Basement at the Bottom at the End of the World, that's not the theme. Like, yeah, family gets mentioned, and like the loss is really apparent between the two characters, Deneen and Paul, but it's not what it's about. And I think that's what I really liked about it. It's just, it was different. That, and I guess I like apocalypse things. I do watch a lot of end of the world movies. So who knows, maybe that had something to do with it. I really like that compared to a lot of the other end of the world things I've watched, whether it's zombie flicks or just, oh no, we're kind of stuck and the world's ending, angels descending, people being shot down, what have you. With this one, it's really just nothing you can really do. It has nothing to do with, oh, everyone's been sinning too much and ignoring things, or oh, there's some kind of crazy virus. They're just stuck going to have their planet thrown to the sun. And there's really not much you can do other than like try and leave the planet, but play kind of makes it seem like it was really unlikely they could even do that. Let alone for these two characters, they seem like they're pretty middle class, probably wouldn't be able to afford or even reach a place. But it's really interesting how it goes and shows like a character development of how, like, if you are stuck with someone for a long period of time or what have you, your views of them are going to change. And that's a lot of what you end up seeing with Deneen and Paul. Like, both of them going in kind of wondering, like, what the hell is going on, and being paranoid of the other. I mean, go figure, Deneen's gonna be paranoid of a white dude carrying around a gun, and Paul's gonna be paranoid of a black woman suddenly running into his house and seemingly stealing his food when he wasn't even aware of all the stuff that was going on, other than his family dying. Just in the end, it shows like how important companionship and having someone can mean to someone, because a lot of people, when they think of needs for survival, they think, you know, oh, well, you need food and you need water and you need to sleep. And when it comes to companionship, a lot of people don't think it's a necessity. Even though, like, a lot of times when you end up researching about people who have gone insane and all those sort of things, they usually have faced isolation somehow. whether it's through bullying, literal isolation, or what have you. But having even just one companion in like a crazy time, it really does change everything, like a lot. And in this case, it shows that, like, they went from being paranoid of, what the hell are you doing in my house? Why are you pointing a gun at me? And all this stuff to actually developing and learning about each other. And it addresses, like, a lot of crazy topics all in one thing without directly saying it. Like the fact that Deneen pretty much aborted her own child. Is it was represented through the doll she kept carrying around, who she kept like changing the, like not the name, but she kept the name the same, but she kept changing like, I guess the title connection to her, whether it was like her niece, her daughter, or what have you, but in the end it represented the child that she needed to just get rid of, because it would have been wrong to bring a child into a world where the sun is going to kill you. So it was really interesting to read, and it was much more interesting than I thought. I don't know what I really expected going into it. I mean, I remember thinking, why is this title so long? But that's really all I really remember about it, especially since we read it so while ago. And I kind of wish that it was more popular. Maybe I should go and look into what area maybe nearby is actually performing this, because I would really like to see this on stage rather than just reading it. It was extremely interesting to read, so I can only imagine actually seeing it performing. Since like with a lot of the other ones that we ended up reading, I just kind of was like, kind of wish I was just watching a movie. Because some of it I was like, I don't think I feel this connection because I'm not seeing it. Like A Raisin in the Sun was fun when I read it in high school because we were all performing it in class. But trying to read it without performing it was really dull. And then watching, like actually just sitting down and watching the movie on YouTube, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. So I can only imagine what a play where I'm like, this is cool, would be actually properly performed on stage. I mean, it's only 2 actors, so it's not even more, unless I want a narrator, in which 3 actors. I also think I really related to the characters because I've seen people who fit both of them. Like, I've dealt with the big, well, I guess not really big. I've dealt with the white dude who's going to be really territorial and close with his family. I've dealt with the, like, black chicks being all like, what are you talking about, and junk like that, and like, it addressed the stereotypes but broke them down. Because honestly, I can't stand stereotypes. I hate it when people fit them. So the fact that this play broke them down, I was just like, wow, really cool. Instead of both being territorial, paranoid, and like racist against each other, they just went, you know what, we're human, the world's ending. What's it matter what we look like, where we are, or anything like that? These are going to be the last moments on Earth. At the same time, I find it pretty sad that it has to get to that point before someone actually sits down and thinks that way. Because in the end, we're all individuals. We shouldn't be defined by skin tone, height, gender, sexuality, anything like that. People should be judged by their actions, because that's what truly ends up defining them, not what they can't control from birth. So, all in all, I think this is an awesome play. I highly recommend it. That's my presentation. Take it or leave it. Bye, guys.